at the size of that thing. Alright, you guys, we're gonna go on another walk today. It's is it November 7th? I think so. And it's 1 p.m. 1300 hours here in Belgrade, Serbia. And like normal, I'm starting on Francuska. And this time we're heading, I want to say south, but actually it's possible this is north. Belgrade is really interesting as far as, my internal navigation goes. I don't get it so much. I do sometimes. But like where I grew up in Los Angeles, growing up there, you know where the ocean is. And the ocean is huge. I mean, honestly, the edge of California might as well be the edge of the world. So you always have an understanding of whereabouts, the ocean is, so you can kind of figure out where you're at. But there's a compass that's in the ground in Burbank. It's the Pinnacle building, which is part of Warner Brothers. And when you're there and you just look down, it's like looking down at this manhole cover, and you look at the direction it's suggesting, and it always throws me off. I'm like, wait, why? That's not north, that's not south. It's just that Burbank, it's funny, it's kind of, if you're talking about a grid, it's on a diagonal. And here in Belgrade, honestly, where the sun comes up and where the sun sets, for me, it's just not so natural. So it is possible that this is, that I'm actually going north right now. But my goal is to go to the Silosi. Pick the right language there and I'll get it right. Silosi. So there's some grain silos there's a few of them here. There's one in Barajevo that's like 3 giant grain silos. I think this one's like 6 or 8, and they're enormous. And they're on the river. So once upon a time, being the river that was the major transportation thoroughfare, stored this grain. Grain came in from the fields. Grain went onto the boat. That's what I'm assuming happened. And now the trucks are the primary way of forwarding. They're no longer needed. And it's been somewhat regentrified. There's a kafana has been made out of them, and it's just a cool place to go. You're right next to the river. Anyways, we're gonna try to get there. I've been there a few times, but never on foot, always on my bicycle, and I have to admit I was not paying as close of attention, so we will see. Some fast food. Apoteka, which is pharmacy, which are everywhere. lighting store, marble store. Today's a hazy day. I think my experience in northern Idaho, which is actually, we're at the same, what is it, longitude? Or is it latitude? I think it's longitude, as northern Idaho. But they burn their, oh wait a moment, wait, we have to look at this. What the heck is this? So a laser hair removal for the home for 40 bucks. Anyways, in northern Idaho this time of year they burn the fields. And they do that for, you know, they burn the weeds, they burn the plant, and what happens is it helps the soil. And I can smell that in the air here. And Serbia is definitely a farm-based country. So, although I'm smelling paint in the air right now, something's happening. Somebody's doing some work. It's Friday. People are probably chomping at the bit to go home. The flooring store. You see, where all these buildings, these are all mixed use. The first floor are businesses, and then when you go above, it's all people living there. It's a really great way to design a city. Barrel House Restaurant. Yeah, I've not spent time down here, so this is kind of new for me. I just heard an English speaker. Actually, there's a lot of English speakers here. My Serbian is not good, and that's because, honestly, I haven't been forced to, because the population here, they've all managed to, you know, not all, but so many have managed to speak English. And for the ones that don't, I'll say, do you speak English? No. And then they have a complete conversation with me in English. Love those old structures. So this camera is not doing it. I don't think you can even see that chimney there. It's painted red and white. Maybe it's just coming through. Yeah, once either I need a gimbal for my phone. Well, that's the thing. I need a gimbal for my phone. Once I've done that, I can re-walk all these areas. I haven't gone out at night. It's really interesting here at night. It's very lit up. But this camera just can't do it. But for 65 bucks, and it's a GoPro knockoff, it's pretty amazing. So this area, this is an industrial area we're getting into here. And you see that it's been somewhat neglected. I mean, there was a lot of huge warehouses here at one time. Look at this billboard print. We love that. Giant printing. But this area here, it's ripe for regentrification. And right now it has a bohemian feel for sure. I don't even know if I'm allowed in here. I remember riding my bike through here, but I was very lackadaisical about my interactions with people, and I might have just driven right through a barricade I wasn't supposed to go, but we'll see. Draft. Okay, that's cool. You know what? If you remember, if you've ever been to Glendale, California, the Golden Road is a brewery, and it's right next to the train station. And in fact, it's an old, some kind of railroad warehouse. When you're having a beer there, and just sitting there, trains will roll by. Okay, so cars are very aggressive towards pedestrians here, and pedestrians are very, I don't know, brave, and they walk right in front of vehicles all the time. And that's why I say you have to have this heightened awareness when you're driving, because I don't know, it seems like in America it's obvious when it's the car's fault and when it's a human's fault, or the pedestrian, if they were to get into an accident. But here it's not so clear. So look at this huge warehouse. I mean, this must have housed all kinds of goods coming in off the river. And it still stands. It's concrete. It just needs a lot of work. So I don't know. We're gonna go like this, and we're gonna cross over here. Try not to get killed. Alright, we're going. So you have to pay to park here, which makes sense. I mean, this area is far removed from, the majority of Belgrade. This is a Smoky Trust. This is just a very industrial area, and it probably for a number of years it was not occupied at all. And now some brave entrepreneurs are trying to create something here. So I can already see the silos. You probably can't because of the depth of field problem. Colabra. Look, there's a guy coming out of a hole. Yeah, I would imagine that even for people like, long time residents of Belgrade, not just 2 years like mine, but this area is probably a unique find. You see different beers that they have with their current price, as if it's some kind of a tradable stock exchange item. In smoke we trust. Oh, I know. You know what? I saw this company on Wolf the other day. Yeah, Texas Barbecue. So that's the second Texas barbecue place, or third, I should say, that I've seen. It's an Italian place. They're playing Italian, and they got the hand. Look at that. There's some wood. Cannon Wine Bistro. You know, I honestly, I had no idea that there were so many restaurants here. I only knew about the silos. I didn't know about all these. And maybe, I mean, it looks pretty new. Maybe they're all new. Or probably within the last 5 years anyways. Which I've only been here 2. I love this when they, you know, repurpose old structures and fix them up. I really dig that. Alright, well, you know, I think maybe I picked the wrong way to go. Because where I'm trying to go, looks like the road here does not go there. But you can see that big smokestack now. It's still smoking. Okay, well, there's a way out of here. It's just going behind these buildings. Yeah, I love these kind of neighborhoods. I always have. I don't know what my draw is to it. I worked at Warner Brothers for 26 years. And Warner Brothers has this feel, that industrial complex, all the huge stages. But they're also, you know, it's very tidy. It's very tidy and useful. Which, you know, you can see here that there's effort being put into it. I mean, there's new roofs on buildings. And this is no small effort. This is a huge, expansive area. So again, another great shout out to Belgrade for, you know, entertaining this kind of thing. What I mean, I feel needs to happen, especially for future generations, is they have to come up with some entry-level living situation. And maybe that's not a problem here yet. Maybe in another generation, maybe 2 even. But, you know, eventually the price of things becomes so high that you can't afford to even be there anymore. That's really what happened to me in Burbank. You know, after my experience at Warner Brothers, which was, you know, that was my bread and butter. But then to, you know, try it in the private sector. I say private sector. Warner's is the private sector, but I had a union job. I was an engineer. Very hard to come by job. So people don't let those things go very easily. But at the same time, I have to say, I was so done. After 26 years, it's like I needed to leave. Even though it left me, to be honest with you. So there's a sign that says Luka, Belgrade. So right behind that, that's where the silos are. Yeah, that's some more giant warehouses. Now there still must be some work, there must be still some forwarding, shipping going on that's using this facility, because I still see giant cranes, and I mean they're giant. Kind of thing that you see in Long Beach, California, offloading ships. That's a Traffica there. That's a pretty ideal spot for them. So there's nothing else around here. So for these workers, they need to have a smoke or cola or something. This is like one of the only spots you can go. So here's a vehicle company you don't see in America. Skoda. It's a Czech Republic car. And I've been in them. You know, they make for great taxis. I have to say, their back seat, super roomy. See, Traffica. A big duck down there. But the back seat is really roomy, and air conditioning vents right there for the back seat passengers. Lots of room for a taxi. It's a great design. Full digital dash. But the quality, it's I guess I would compare that to maybe a Hyundai in Korea. So yeah, I have no idea what this is. And you know what? When I first got here, this kind of building would have freaked me out. It just has a look about it and a feel about it. But now, honestly, I vibe with it. When I first got here, I would have gone, oh, Eastern Bloc. Scary. Now, I would move in here. I'd be like, yeah, that looks cool to me. So now I see why I didn't have a good memory of how